Have you ever considered how a single promise, whispered in a blood-soaked room at the end of a war, could redirect the entire course of history? It's a fascinating thought, the idea that the grand tapestry of destiny can be unraveled and rewoven by a single, fragile thread. Let's journey back to the final, bloody days of Robert's rebellion, to a lonely tower in the mountains of Dorne, the Tower of Joy. Here, a dying Lyanna Stark entrusted her newborn son to her brother, Eddard, with a promise that would define the future of the Seven Kingdoms. That baby, hidden under the name Jon Snow, was raised in the frozen north, his true heritage as a Targaryen king buried under the weight of that one secret. He grew into a man of honor, shaped by the cold and the name Bastard. But the story of Ice and Fire is a story of choices, and a single different choice can create an entirely new world. What if that promise was never made? What if, in that moment of grief and desperation, Ned Stark wasn't the only one there to decide the boy's fate? Imagine for a moment that the history we know was a lie, a comfortable story told to hide a much more complicated and dangerous truth. How profoundly different would the Game of Thrones timeline be? Well, that's precisely what we're here to find out. Imagine if loyalists sworn to House Targaryen, men who saw not a bastard to be hidden, but a king to be protected, intercepted Ned Stark. What if they convinced the honorable Ned that the only chance for Rhaegar's last son was not with his enemies, but with the last of his own blood? This is the story of how a different path out of Dorne could have changed everything. This is what would have happened if Jon Snow was raised not with the Starks, but in exile, with his uncle and aunt, Viserys and Daenerys Targaryen. Section 1. The Divergence. Our story diverges not with a clash of swords, but with a desperate, logical plea. At the Tower of Joy, as Ned Stark holds his dying sister's child, he is met not by enemies, but by retainers of House Dane, loyal to Rhaegar to the very end. They reveal a truth even Ned did not know. According to the Loyalists, Rhaegar secured an annulment and wed Lyanna in secret, paper sealed by the Faith, hidden from Robert's reach. The boy in his arms is not Jon Snow, a bastard, but Aegon Targaryen, named for the conqueror as if Rhaegar's prophecy demanded the name be spoken again. The rightful heir to the Iron Throne. Their argument is simple and devastating. An old retainer, his face etched with sorrow, steps forward. Lord Stark, you are a man of honor, but honor cannot stop a dagger in the dark. Robert's war ended with Tywin's men murdering Rhaegar's children. Gregor Clegane smashed an infant's head against a wall, and the new king called them dragon spawn. Is that the fate you wish for Lyanna's son? Ned, cradling the infant, recoils. I would die before I let any harm come to him. And you will, the man insists gently, but your death will not save him. It will only orphan him a second time. To raise him in Westeros, even as your bastard, is to paint a target on his back. Robert's hatred for all things Targaryen is absolute. Spies are everywhere. One day a stable boy will notice his face, a serving girl will hear a story, and the king will come to finish the job. The only chance for the boy to survive is to vanish completely. Torn between his promise to Lyanna to keep him safe and the cold, horrifying logic of survival, Ned makes an impossible, heartbreaking choice. He relinquishes the child into the arms of the Loyalists, his last sight of his nephew being a small bundle disappearing into the Dornish night. Section 2. A New Family. The infant Aegon is spirited away first to Dragonstone, hidden among the last Loyalists around Queen Rhaella. When Daenerys is born in the Great Storm and Stannis sails to take the island, Sir Willem Darry smuggles all three children away together across the narrow sea, to Braavos. There, in a modest house with a red door, its small courtyard sheltered from the worst of the cold, a lemon tree kept alive in a pot, lives what remains of the Targaryen dynasty. A bitter 8-year-old Viserys, a babe in arms named Daenerys, and their aging, weary protector, Sir Willem Darry. The arrival of a third child, a nephew, the last living son of Prince Rhaegar, changes the texture of their exile instantly. For Sir Willem, the boy is a sacred trust, a flicker of hope in the gathering dusk. For Viserys, he is a complication. At first, he sees a reflection of his idolized brother Rhaegar, but that quickly sours into a venomous resentment. Viserys, the self-proclaimed beggar king, now has a living, breathing reminder that he is second, that this quiet, dark-haired boy, Aegon, has a better claim. He becomes another target for Viserys' displaced cruelty. Another mouth to feed, he snarls, another brat to cry. But for Daenerys, the boy she comes to know as N is something else entirely. Her toddler tongue couldn't quite manage Egan, and the shortened name stuck, a secret nickname just for them. Born amidst the same storm of chaos and collapse, they are the children of the storm, with no memory of the Red Keep or the glory of their house. In the grim reality of hushed stories and gnawing hunger, N becomes her anchor. Where Viserys is volatile and cruel, N is quiet and watchful. He may not have the Stark name, but he has Lyanna's blood. A northern solemnity that is a stark contrast to Viserys' fire and madness. When a young Viserys, in a fit of pique over a burnt piece of bread, strikes Daenerys, it is the 10-year-old N who steps between them. He doesn't have the strength to win, but his cold, steady glare is something Viserys has never seen. It is not the fiery rage of a dragon, but the chilling stillness of a wolf. "Leave her be, Viserys," he says, his voice low. "And who are you to command me, nephew? You are nothing," Viserys spits back. "I am her family," Anne replies, unflinching. "And so are you. You should remember that." In these small, defiant moments, a new dynamic is forged. Daenerys, who would have only known fear, now has a protector. Aegon, who would have been an outsider in Winterfell, finds his purpose. Section 3. The Lean Years. When Sir Willem Darry finally passes, their world collapses. Cast out from the house with the red door, they wander the free cities, and Viserys' obsession with the Iron Throne festers into a toxic mania. He drills them with stories of their greatness, but the stories affect the two younger children differently. Daenerys sees a beautiful dream of home. Ian, ever the pragmatist, hears a story of duty, but feels no connection to the throne he is told is his. His world is the dirty alleyways of Myr and the safety of his young aunt. He learns to fight not from a master at arms in a castle yard, but in brawls for a loaf of bread. He is not Jon Snow, the skilled swordsman, but Ian, the resourceful, scrappy survivor. He learns to pick a pocket with a light touch and to spot a crooked merchant from 100 paces. He discovers that a quiet word is often better than a loud threat, and that survival is a game of observation. While Viserys rants about armies and dragons, N is the one who notices the loose brick where a baker hides his day's earnings, securing them a meal. This life hardens him, but it doesn't break him. It simply teaches him a different kind of honor, the honor of keeping his family alive. The three of them, a fractured and volatile unit of beggar royals, finally arrive at the manse of Magister Illyrio Mopatis in Pentos, where their fortunes are about to violently change. Section 4. A deal for a crown. Magister Illyrio's offer is a poisoned chalice, an army of 40,000 Dothraki screamers in exchange for Daenerys' hand in marriage. To Viserys, this is the masterstroke he has been waiting for. He sees only the swords that will win him his crown, callously trading his sister for a kingdom. 40,000 men, he chortles, his eyes gleaming. The usurper won't know what hit him. Daenerys is terrified, but in this reality, she is not entirely alone. N, now a young man of 14, stands beside her, his protective instincts honed to a razor's edge. He steps forward, his voice a low growl. "You would sell her?" Viserys rounds on him, his face contorted with rage and glee. "I would sell both of you and the ghosts of our entire family for a crown. She was born to this. We are dragons. She will do her duty." N cannot stop the marriage. Viserys is the one holding the coin, the contacts, and the title he screams into every room, acting as a self-appointed regent. But he makes a vow. He will not let her go into the Dothraki Sea alone. He insists on accompanying her as her sworn shield, a concept that amuses the Dothraki but is non-negotiable for him. "She will not go alone," N states, his jaw set. Viserys laughs, a high, cruel sound. And what will you do? Challenge a call to a duel, little wolf pup? If I must, Ian replies, his gray eyes locked on his uncle's. Viserys, eager to have his rival out of sight and under the thumb of a Dothraki warlord, agrees. So when Daenerys is presented to Khal Drogo, En is there, a silent, gray-eyed shadow. Drogo sees not just a trembling bride, but a young wolf cub standing guard over its own. It is a posture the Dothraki understand. Section 5, the Khaleesi and her wolf. Life in the Khalasar is brutal. Viserys, with his arrogance and demands, is despised almost immediately, mocked as the cart king for his inability to keep up. En, however, adapts. He understands survival. He doesn't demand respect. He tries to earn it. He learns the language, learns to ride until his body is a symphony of aches, and learns to fight their way. His quiet determination and a surprising ferocity with a blade earn him a grudging acceptance among Drogo's Khas and veteran riders. They call him the Silent Wolf. His primary focus remains Daenerys. He is her confidant, her only piece of home in a sea of grass. As she blossoms from a frightened girl into a confident Khaleesi, Aeon is her steadfast supporter, emboldening her. When she stands up to Viserys for the first time, ordering him to walk, En is there, his hand on the hilt of his sword, ready to defend her. The night the dragon eggs hatch is the moment their world is reborn in fire. Daenerys, heartbroken, walks into Khal Drogo's massive funeral pyre. But she is not the only one who feels the pull of the flames. Aeon, bound by his vow in his blood, feels something stir in his veins, a hum that resonates deep in his bones. He is, after all, the blood of the dragon. When dawn comes, Daenerys is revealed, unburnt, with 3 newly hatched dragons clinging to her. It is a miracle, but this miracle has a witness who shares her blood. As the Dothraki stare in awe, the dragons react to him, turning their heads in unison. One, with scales of jade and bronze, flaps its tiny wings and scrambles onto his shoulder, nuzzling against his neck as readily as it does hers. They are no longer just aunt and nephew. They are something more. The prophecy is real. The 3 dragons have 3 heads. This new reality is a death sentence for Viserys. His authority is shattered. His final pathetic confrontation unfolds with a terrifying new element. When Viserys threatens a pregnant Daenerys, drawing his sword and demanding his crown, Drogo offers him the golden crown he so richly deserves. But as the gold melts, Daenerys looks to Aeon, her eyes filled with terror and pity, unable to watch. Aeon, seeing the conflict in her eyes, steps forward. As the first ribbon of molten gold spills, he grabs Viserys from behind and wrenches, ending it without spilling blood, before the screaming can last. It is a quick, clean death, a kindness his uncle never showed anyone. He has woken the dragon, but it is a wolf's heart that delivers the final, somber blow. The dragon is awake, uncle, he whispers. Now sleep. Section 6. The Two-Headed Dragon. With Viserys gone, the dynamic between En and Daenerys solidifies into an unbreakable partnership. They are co-regents of a future they must build from scratch. Daenerys is the fire, the charismatic leader who inspires devotion. Aeon is the ice, the quiet strategist, the voice of an honor he seems to have inherited from a mother he never knew. Their journey through the desolate Red Waste is a trial, but with 2 dragon-blooded Targaryens, their mystique is amplified. The 3 dragons, Viserion, named for Daenerys' lost brother, Rhaegal, the green dragon who has claimed En, and Drogon, Daenerys' fierce black shadow, grow under the care of 2 masters. Their arrival in Korth is different. The warlocks of the House of the Undying see not 1, but 2 sources of immense power. Their visions are more complex. They show Daenerys the Iron Throne, but they show En a wall of ice and a gathering darkness beyond it. He sees flashes of sapphire blue eyes and feels a soul-deep cold that has nothing to do with the sea. These images haunt him, a strange northern dread that feels more real than any southern throne. Instinctively, he begins to collect obsidian wherever it appears in trade, rare black glass from shadowed eastern markets, not knowing why, only that he must. The conquest of Slaver's Bay becomes a joint effort. In Astapor, while Daenerys provides the awe-inspiring display of power, unleashing Drogon with the now legendary cry of Dracarys, En has already been among the Unsullied, speaking to them not as a prince, but as a fellow soldier. He finds Grey Worm and speaks to him quietly. They took your name, they took your future. She offers them back. I am not a master, I am a commander. I will bleed with you, I will die with you, but I will not own you. His quiet sincerity helps cement their loyalty in a way power alone could not. He becomes their commander on the ground, the quiet wolf who leads with a calm resolve that perfectly complements Daenerys' fiery passion. This partnership fundamentally alters Daenerys' rule. She is still the breaker of chains, but her methods are tempered. When she considers making an example of the Masters of Meereen, a reflection of Viserys' cruelty, it is Anne who counsels restraint. They are monsters, Dany, he argues. But if we become monsters to fight them, what is the point? Justice and revenge are not the same. He grounds her, preventing her from succumbing to the Targaryen impulse to solve every problem with fire and blood. He is the memory of Ned Stark's honor acting through a son he never raised. Section 7. The Truth Bomb. Meanwhile, whispers cross the narrow sea. Not of one Targaryen claimant, but of two heirs with 3 growing dragons. In Westeros, this news lands like a lit torch in a powder keg. The War of the Five Kings ignites, burning hotter and more chaotically than ever. And then, the most significant ripple of all. In King's Landing, facing his own execution, a desperate Ned Stark plays his final, cataclysmic card. With his own life forfeit, he must change the game. He confesses his treason, but then he raises his voice and reveals the truth he has held for 15 years. He shouts it from the steps of the great sept of Baelor for all to hear. Jon Snow is not my son. He is Aegon Targaryen, son of Rhaegar and my sister Lyanna, the true heir to the Iron Throne. The chaos is immediate. Joffrey orders his execution, but it's too late. Ned Stark's death does not end a story. It begins an entirely new one. The world now knows the dragon Prince in Essos is Lyanna Stark's son. Ned Stark's final proclamation shatters the political landscape. The War of the Five Kings becomes something far more complicated. In the north, the lords who declared Robb Stark their king now face a stunning conundrum. This knowledge changes everything for Robb. He is no longer just fighting for independence. He is fighting to secure the kingdom for his cousin, for Lyanna's son. The Red Wedding is averted. With the larger, undeniable goal of seating his Targaryen cousin on the Iron Throne, Robb becomes more politically pragmatic, honoring his vow to House Frey. Section 8. The Reunion. When Daenerys and En finally land on Dragonstone, they arrive to a kingdom already fracturing in their favor. Stannis' garrison forced to yield in the shadow of living dragons. The North is not an enemy, but a potential ally waiting for its king. En becomes their greatest diplomatic weapon, sent north not with an army, but as family. The first reunion is not in a safe Winterfell courtyard, but in the war, at River Run, amid banners and mud. En meets Robb Stark and Lady Catelyn, and the northern lords who named a Stark their king. Sansa is still a hostage in King's Landing, and Arya is still missing. Wounds the family carries into every council. But when En speaks of ice beyond the wall, the room stills. Whatever crown they fight for, the enemy he describes is older than all of them. He is Aegon Targaryen to the world, but here among his mother's kin and the banners of the North, he feels like Jon Snow for the first time. His Stark heritage is the key. He tells them of his visions of a wall of ice and an army of the dead. His obsession with dragon glass suddenly makes perfect, terrifying sense. The threat isn't the Lannisters, it's the Night King. Section 9. The Great War. A powerful alliance is forged. The combined forces of the Targaryens, the Dothraki, the Unsullied, the North, and the Vale create an unstoppable military force. The War of the Five Kings collapses. The Lannisters, utterly isolated, are forced to sue for peace. The war for the throne is over almost before it begins. But the Great War is just beginning. With Aen's warnings, the realm is not caught by surprise. The Night's Watch is reinforced, the dragon glass is worked into weapons, When the Night King marches on the wall, he is met by the combined armies of Westeros, led by 2 dragon riders. The battle for the dawn is a cataclysmic confrontation at the wall itself. Daenerys on Drogon and Yen on Rhaegal are a vision from the legends of old. As the battle breaks, the Night King hurls his ice spear. Viserys screams, crashes, and the cold magic rises with him. Then the terrible aerial duel begins. Undead Viserys against living fire, and an ice spear's shards find their mark. Rhaegal is grievously wounded. As Yen plummets with his dragon, surrounded by whites, his other nature awakens. The wolf blood, the gift of the first men from Lyanna, roars to life. Something primal snaps into place. Not warging, but the brutal, intimate bond of a dragon rider sharing one terror-stricken mind with another. Through sheer force of will, he forces Rhaegal to breathe one last, explosive gout of flame before the dragon finally succumbs. Enraged, Daenerys unleashes Drogon's full fury. The combined fire and dragonglass weapons stall the tide, until Yen, half frozen and bleeding, drives a dragonglass spear point into the Night King at close range. The crack runs through the dead like lightning. The Night King is shattered. The song of ice and fire has been sung. In the aftermath, the Iron Throne still stands. But it feels smaller than it ever did. The true victory was forged in the snows of the north. Daenerys Targaryen is the undisputed queen, but she is not the same queen who left Essos. The influence of Yen, the quiet wolf, has tempered her fire with wisdom and an unwavering honor. And what of Yen? He is Aegon Targaryen, the hero of the Great War, the rider of the fallen Rhaegal, and to many the prince from prophecy. The stage is set for a new dance of the dragons. But that is not their story. Their bond was not forged in conquest, but in shared suffering, in the gutters of Myr and the sands of the Dothraki Sea. They are not rivals. They are family. In the dragon pit of King's Landing, before the assembled lords and ladies of Westeros, Yen does what Ned Stark would have done. He chooses honor. He chooses love. He addresses his queen directly. The world knows me as Aegon Targaryen. My mother's family knows me as Jon Snow. But in my heart, I have only ever been Yen, your shield. A shield does not sit on a throne. It stands before it. He renounces his claim to the Iron Throne and kneels before Queen Daenerys. His place, he declares, is in the north, the land of his mother, to rebuild and stand guard. Not as king, never that, but as the warden who rebuilds the wall and commands the watch that remains. Queen Daenerys Targaryen, the first of her name, rules as a reformer. The wheel is not just broken, it is remade. In this timeline, the bitterness of Viserys was a catalyst, not a defining poison. Jon Snow's journey away from Westeros ultimately became the only thing that could have truly saved it. He was never meant to be a king on a throne of swords. He was the ice to her fire, the wolf to her dragon, and his destiny was to be the shield that guarded the realms of men, a promise kept not by his uncle, but by himself. But now I want to hear from you. What do you think of this alternate timeline? Would Jon's honor have survived an upbringing with Viserys? Is there anything that you'd change? Whatever it is, let me know down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into an alternate Westeros, be sure to leave a like on this video to support the channel and even consider subscribing to stay up to date with the latest content. Thanks for watching.